The pattern I'm using today is Make Supply Leather. They have free printable patterns for lots of different kinds of wallets and card holders and lots of different things. They also have acrylic templates of their patterns you can buy, but I just used the free PDF and printed them out and glued them to some heavier paper so that they're easier to trace and will last longer. Something to remember when you print out the PDF is it reminds you on the pattern to set it to 100% when you go to print, but I also had to flip it from portrait to landscape for it to be the right size. So just something to keep in mind. Also the pattern comes with a outside cover and interior piece. They're the same size, so I just use the interior piece, as that cuts down on the chance of them because whether being printed out or when I cut out the pattern and possibly being a little bit different size. This way using the same pattern piece, they should match a whole lot nicer. So I'm using black for the T pocket, and then for the left side pocket, and then I'm using light brown for the left bottom card slot, and then the interior piece. And then for the exterior, I'm also dyeing that light brown, but then I'm using a medium brown antique. So here we're going to bevel the edges of the pockets, just the mouths of the pockets, and then the interior edges, and then the cutout on the main body, because we're not going to be able to get to those edges after we've glued and stitched them. So we do that now, and then the outside we'll do later, because after we get it all together, we got to sand the edges down so that it's all nice and even, so when we slick, it all burnishes evenly and smoothly. So here I'm marking where the pockets will be, so then I know where to put the contact cement. And then also you gotta rough up the top grain to give the glue something to adhere to. So I just use a scratch awl. But one thing to remember is, and sometimes I've made the mistake and forgot, is to rough inside your mark, where the pocket is going to cover, not the outside, because then you probably have to start over. So just keep that in mind. So here we're just stitching or punching the holes to stitch down the interior edge of the card pockets, because once we glue this piece onto the outside, that is going to be very difficult to sew. So now here on the exterior piece, I cut it larger so that when you put the interior piece on, I can cut the exterior to size so that it's exactly where I want it. Where sometimes I've had it to where when I cut them separately and then try to put them together, they don't always line up, and then it causes all sorts of problems. So also with the glue, so what I did is I traced the pattern onto this exterior piece and cut it larger So now with the glue, I'm going to the interior of the line, the inside of the line, but then also I'm staying the glue outside the line so that even if I get it a little bit crooked, there'll still be glue there so that the glue will hold. So now here, I'm repunching all the holes so that it goes through the exterior. Now this was actually the first time I had ever done that. Most of the time, I wouldn't have done that with the glue and making the bigger piece, or the outside piece bigger. I would have cut it exactly the same size and then punched the holes in both pieces, making sure I had the same amount of holes, and then putting them together. But sometimes that can, the holes can be off just a little bit, and so I got to really work trying to get the needle through. So I thought I would try a little bit differently, and it worked pretty good. You just definitely have to make sure that you're holding the chisel upright and be as straight as possible and not lean either one way or the other, or your stitch line is definitely going to be crooked. So now I'm just using this tool to kind of pop the glue loose of where it's below the stitch line, so that way we have full pocket capacity. The glue's dry, so you don't have to worry about it getting on your cards or your passport or anything. But that way, there's nothing stopping you from sliding your cards and passport in smoothly. So now I didn't show it on camera, but I used sander and sanded it down to where all the pockets, the interior piece, exterior piece are all nice and even. And so now burnish bevel top and bottom, and then I'm going to use the gum trag again to burnish. And then after that, this project's done.